Previously in the land of the wolf, the young least flycatchers left their nest, and Calmo seemed fascinated by the comings and goings of the birds. August coincides with the ripening of many wild berries, a promise of summer awaited by black bears. Monique, Raynald, and I are going to take advantage of this windfall without neglecting our first objective, wildlife observation. First raspberry picking of the season near a pinewood beaver pond. As soon as the bowls are full, we taste these tiny sweets on the spot. My parents and I go unnoticed in such dense brush. Consequently, there is a risk of ending up too close to a bear. To avoid a bad surprise, we have to manifest our presence. Unfortunately, these strident sounds also drive away those we would like to see. I started using a whistle after nearly stumbling into a big bear that was sleeping in a raspberry bush patch. I was a meter away from it when it woke up and fled. Well, for me, I got out of it with a good scare. We loved raspberry season. Monique cooked tasty puddings which she often left to cool outside. Then we treated ourselves. Many animals love wild berries. We could tell by going to pick blueberries, since these fruits grow in open spaces offering a large view, where it was much easier to keep a safe distance from bears. In the land of the wolf, vast jack pine plantations follow the clear cuts carried out by the forest industry. Blueberries and Canadian bunchberries quickly colonize this kind of habitat. Square kilometers of little berries ready to pick. My parents and I are never alone in these vastnesses. In August, bears gather here in large numbers. Wild berries are the main source of calories, allowing them to gain weight before hibernation. For Ginger, our vixen friend, berries are a sweet dessert, a summer pleasure useful to her health without being essential to her. The black bear eats mannerless, swallowing the foliage as well as the fruits. Unlike the bear, the vixen picks berries with delicacy, just like us. With respect, our trio can savor the generosity of the land of the wolf in the company of other species. The picking being done, I film more footage of Ginger. We dreamed of observing Como, Jimmy, or any other member of the manatee pack eating blueberries. I must admit that before studying the behavior of wolves, I was unaware that they consume important quantities of blueberries. I realized this in 2002 at the rendezvous site of the Burnt Hills Pack. This site was in the midst of an area rich in blueberries where we observed the pups feeding on them to the point of having swollen bellies. Then I wondered if wolves ate other wild berry species, and if so, which ones? I did not get all the answers, but I know a little more than before. This least chipmunk feasts on the fruits of the bristly sarsaparilla. This plant grows in open and disturbed environments. Bristly sarsaparillas abound on the plateau, serving as a summer rendezvous site for the Burnt Hills Pack, where they attract cedar waxwings. These berries are nutritious and tasty, but if I want to see a wolf, I have to resist the urge to leave my cache to eat them. Here is Busby, the babaloo's sister. She eats sarsaparillas. Does Babaloo also like the berries of the bristly sarsaparilla? He is much more interested in catching a bird or a chipmunk. No matter how discreet I am, Busby is aware of my presence. Wild berries may play a bigger role than expected in the diet of wolves, especially in pups. In 2005, the region experienced extreme drought, which resulted in a scarcity of wild berries. Obviously, the bears suffered a lot. Based on an observation we made that year, in early September, the lack of blueberries may have had a detrimental impact on wolves as well. We had been looking for wolves since spring when we stumbled across the Burnt Hills pack. At first glance, everything seemed normal, and we were thrilled by our first wolf encounter of the season. There were at least 2 black pups in the litter, and we hoped the others would eventually show up. When we saw some young standing up, we realized how emaciated and weakened they were. We had never seen wolves so thin at this time of year. Disease did not seem to be involved. These young wolves were not eating enough to sustain their growth, and this coincided with the absence of berries. I am not claiming this is the sole factor responsible for their condition. The situation may have been aggravated by other reasons. One thing is certain, the pups were not alone since 2 adults crossed the clearing at dusk. This observation shocked us, because it showed us for the first time the trials that mark the life of a wolf, such as starvations. This was an unusual case in our study territory in summer, as we have never encountered other young wolves so thin afterwards. And that is good, because sharing the daily life of calm and happy wild animals is so much more inspiring. Blueberries attract enthusiasts everywhere along jack pine plantations. This morning, even Como lets himself be tempted. Chickadees prefer to look for caterpillars and spiders higher up. Bird sightings like Como loves them. Are the birds enjoying their luck? Rare are the birds that can be proud of being so close to a wolf. For the least chipmunk, venturing a few meters from Como is more risky. The little rodent probably guesses that the heat diffuses Como's predatory urges. While the wolf dozes, the ruffed grouse family is busy in the undergrowth. Hairy woodpeckers are much less discreet than grouse. Even if he is intrigued by the pounding of the birds, Como struggles to leave the world of dreams. In such a warm day, there is nothing better to do than sleep. High temperatures suit the cicada, not the wolf. In summer, in northern Ontario, the temperature sometimes rises to 30 degrees during the day, and it is useless to keep watch. At that time, our only activities were limited to swimming in the lake and painting inside the camp. The advantage is that mosquitoes are less numerous after a period of heat. In the next episode, we will discover the hidden beauties of the undergrowth. Among them, flowers without chlorophyll, as well as a tiny orchid whose foliage looks like the skin of a garter snake. On the wildlife side, a family of otters will put on quite a show, and Como will leave the pine forest region for the rest of the season. All this, and many more stories to follow in the land of the wolf.
Mahinga